Hi guys, and welcome back to another Starcraft Remastered replay cast, as once again we have a very interesting engagement here in between the two pro players from the South Korean scene. Let me just start by introducing the players to you guys, as we have spawned here in the upper left part in the red. It is Sana and his opponent here with his AK. It is only star, but this is of course BISU as he's spawning here in the lower left as the teal Protoss. So it is a 4 spawning location map once again. Protoss versus Terran, interesting enough. Another replay here from BISU, many replays from him onto this channel. So yeah, let's have a look at their build orders once again, as very soon they will start doing this. It is going to be once again a fast expansion here for BISU. We're about to find out. No, actually he's placing this time his pylon next to his nexus here, so also placing it here very close to his gas. So try this trick where the probes actually gather gas a little bit faster from the extractor there. So let's have a look at the Terran. Pretty normal stuff here for him as well, as he's opening up here with his supply depot. And yeah, let's see how the game continues. Should be of course a gateway for BISU, so this might indicate to us that he's going to be earlier a little bit more aggressive. Maybe he's going to try to rush his opponent with some dragoons. Maybe he's going to even try a double gateway rush with some zealots. We're about to find out, as none of the two players actually sends out a scouting worker. So quite an interesting build order here from BISU, as well as he's actually saving for a nexus, it seems like. So he's going for nexus first. A very greedy gameplay here for BISU. No gateway, straight into nexus, so only one pylon and a couple of workers here for him. We can see the production tab of course in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. So very nice greedy gameplay here for BISU. Not the same can be said here for the Terran, as he's going for his gas, and there is his barracks, and also the first scouting SCV is being sent out. So the Terran could actually punish this fast expansion build order here by BISU, but sadly for him his SCV is heading into the wrong direction. So if the SCV would have come here, of course we could have seen a rush with a couple of Marines and even some vultures, and even some SCVs could have been pulled to move forward towards the base from BISU. So sadly here for him the game might have ended very quickly here for BISU, as he is now just finishing his gateway gas. Like I told you, a couple of Marines would have been enough, with a couple of even 1 or 2 vultures, and vultures are of course great against zealots if there would have been some zealots. And of course the Terran, like I told you, could have sent some SCVs out, build a bunker here, secure this position, a very important position, and that would have meant of course for BISU that he would have had his dragoons in the high ground. He would have had to wait for some shuttle gameplay and so on, but right now luckily for him the Terran has got it into the wrong direction, so his expansion is nicely mining already the minerals here. 3 Marines are out for the Terran. There is the add-on for the factory, and yeah, no vultures are being produced yet. Could have been straight into some tanks. Let's have a look at BISU. His second gateway is finished. There is a cybernetics core. Very soon, yes, we do see some dragoons. Of course the dragoons are great counter against the Marines, also very nice against tanks even early on, as siege tank would have not been finished there. SCV finally comes in, sees now the fast expansion by BISU, so this might force the Terran to go for his fast expansion here as well. Let's see if this is going to be the reaction from the Terran, as the Marines actually take out the scouting probe here for BISU. So BISU is still blind, he has no idea what is going on into the main from the Terran. And yeah, just some Marines. Mine is being researched, as the first vultures are also being produced now. And interesting enough, the Terran plays it very safe. He's actually expecting an attack, but yeah, no such thing is going to happen from BISU. Just a zealot and a dragoon moving out here, but of course they will stand no chance against so many Marines and the tank. So with 3 dragoons perhaps this could be punished, but BISU would have to wait of course for his range to be finished, as there's 5 Marines here actually moving out for the Terran. And with some reinforcements, actually the Terran is now moving out with some SCVs. I don't know if this is going to work out. It's a very late move out for him. Lots and lots of SCVs will of course be used in the front, but there's already 4 dragoons here for BISU. So yeah, the SCVs are pretty tanky. The Marines are dealing some good damage. One Dragoon might get taken out very soon. 2 Marines, even 3 Marines have already fallen. 1 Dragoon has fallen here as well. And yeah, luckily here for the Terran, BISU has no range now, and he's actually moving forward with all of his forces. 2 Marines are still alive. 2 Vultures are down. 1 tank needs to be protected here, so the Terran needs to be careful. Reinforcements are also being prepared. A strong push all of a sudden here for the Terran, as he's actually showing us that the Terran can be early on aggressive, he can be early on successful, and he should be able to snap this expansion very soon with lots and lots of SCVs. How many did we brought here? 8 SCVs have been brought, and the expansion has been taken out. So yeah, nice move by the Terran lead. Of course, he's going to force those Dragoons to stay back. The might will give some good clearance here, but BISU nicely microing his Dragoons, taking out the mine there, and we actually might see him engage here forward, going straight for the tank. Might move by him, and now only the SCVs with the Marines are being left here into the bunker, so in the end this should be cleared, but the damage has been done already as the SCVs have been taken out and the expansion has also been taken out here. So the Marines will try to inflict some damage into the main here from BISU. They will try, of course, to snipe a probe or two, but the Indian, like I told you, this is going to get cleared, and perhaps now the Terran has a smaller advantage versus BISU, as BISU has indeed lost his expansion, and now he's transitioning into some, could be a reverse shuttle gameplay. No, he's actually cancelling that. Go straight for the observer early on just to push forward. So now we have a small stalemate. The tanks will, of course, siege up here, as the Terran will very likely secure his expansion. The other expansion is being rebuilt here by BISU. So right now, like I told you, a small stalemate. Let's have a look at the worker count. Still many more workers being available here for BISU. 32 for him, 27 for Terran. Quite a nice aggressive move out by the Terran, but in the end it has been held. If he would have done it like I told you early on, he would have very likely finished the game, if you ask me, with 8 SCVs in the front. Not that many Dragoons were available for BISU, but BISU is recovering the Terran with a smaller advantage, if you ask me. And let's have a look what this, just the observer is being produced out of this robotics facility bay for BISU. And the Terran also securing his expansion. Let's have a look into his main. Only 1 factory and 1 barracks for him. There is his starport, and we might see some dropship harassment being happened here by the Terran. Could be dropship, could be race. Let's have a look at what his intentions are, as BISU is slowly but steadily moving out. He tries, of course, to clear the mines. His observer is here into the main from the Terran, so he saw, of course, all of those mines on the ground. Try to lure 1 mine, but yeah, the tank already dealing good damage towards the Dragoons here for his opponent. And let's look, we do see a transition now into mass factory. So like many Terrans, of course, going to be seeing them go into those mech into the tanks with vultures and perhaps Goliaths later on if needed, against an arbiter or perhaps against a carrier. So pretty standard stuff all of a sudden. What exactly did the Terran produce here out of this starport? Of course, it's a Wraith, so very interesting idea here by the Terran. Race into dropship, so if it's going to be successful, I believe it's going to be very likely be a drop into this location right here with some tanks. Perhaps 1 tank and 2 vultures could be very deadly against the main here from BISU, as there are no cannons here, just a couple of Dragoons here in the middle guarding this area. But of course the observer sees, or he should have seen, the Stargate there. And let's see if the Terran is going to be successful here versus BISU. BISU also having a island here. I believe he's going to try to wall off as much as he can, but dropship would have been very deadly. Some Dragoons are being, of course, transferred, and we even have a Stargate now being produced by BISU, so who knows, of course, the next move by the Terran. There is the Dragoons being sent out. In the meantime, the Terran looks like he's going to secure his other expansion. Same can be said here for BISU, just a couple of Dragoons securing this expansion, as very soon we are going to be closing towards the 10-minute mark into this game. So quite interesting stuff. A very early aggression by the Terran. BISU did hold his ground, and now we do have all of a sudden a macro game. Both players are preparing their macro game, just expanding all over the map, just adding more and more of those production buildings, gateways versus factories. It is going to be once again, as we see, one weapons upgrades for both players being done, and we actually also see an arbiter tribunal being added here by BISU. Looks like we're going to be having a arbiter gateway units with arbiter. This seems to be the strategy for BISU versus the tanks and vultures from the Terran. Are we going to be see some battle cruisers? Going to be very interesting to be see some battle cruiser, as we also have this casual race moving out here, just patrolling the map, just giving more and more map control for the Terran. Some nice observers are being spread here by BISU. Notice like a triangle here to have as much vision as possible, as the Terran tries of course his best with his vultures. Let's see what this dropship has here. One tank with 2 vultures, so he might try to attack the newly established bases from BISU. Is he going to be successful? We're about to find out what the next moves are going to be. So I believe it's going to be a nice harassment here by the Terran. He might try to add more dropships. He might try to do a double attack. Actually a science vessel, interesting enough. I believe he did scan the area, the production area from BISU, so he knows that it's going to be arbiter very likely. And let's see when exactly the Terran is going to react. It's going to be very hard for him to attack here. There is a cannon, there's 3 dragoons. Even a pylon has been placed here. So he's just spreading those units, just adding those mines, just trying to have as much map control, map vision as possible. As he's now closing in towards the newly established base for BISU. There's just one tank with 2 vultures. BISU should be okay here with his dragoons. And some units are even getting transferred here. So I believe BISU is going to try to secure his other expansion point very soon. So we do have indeed a very interesting, all of a sudden, macro game here. This could be a cannon. So yeah, BISU knows of course that the newly established base will be very likely the next target from the Terran. As yet the Terran now finally moves out with a couple of vultures. So he might try to punish the expansion attempt here from BISU, but dragoons are of course a great counter against vultures. Still no move out. The dropship might get surrounded here very quickly, so the Terran all of a sudden losing here. Very important dropship with a tank with 2 vultures. Nice move by BISU, recognizing the danger there and sniping the dropship. And yeah, it's just mass dragoons for him, not that many zealots, as he just keeps on expanding all over the map, given the fact the main should be mined out very soon. So I believe all of those troops will be transferred very soon into this location. In the meantime, the Terran tries of course, or wants of course, to secure this other expansion point here. Is he going to try to move out once again? He's just securing the area here with a waves and with a science vessel. I believe his tactic is of course to EMP shockwave the arbiter. There it is, a nice EMP taking out the energy, but I believe the arbiter still has enough energy here, and all of a sudden we see a great move out by the units from BISU. Let's check those upgrades very quickly. Just one weapons upgrade, and he's going to very likely focus his attack here into this location. The siege tanks are clumped up together. There's not that much energy being left, but a great stasis trap here versus all of the tanks, and I believe this could be a great advantage here for BISU. This is moving forward, so all of those tanks are being taken out of the game. BISU shows us once again the strength of the arbiter as he's moving forward with the zealots in the front. Protection is there for the Terran, so it's very important to have that science vessel in the air, and it's just 2 tanks over, and all the 2 tanks in the back are just pretty much gaining more and more ground and just getting more and more splash damage. But in the end, a great stasis field here by BISU, taking out so many tanks here from the enemy, as the reinforcements are also nicely moving forward here for BISU. Try of course to surround, as the stasis trap is going to expire very soon, and all of a sudden the Terran might have the advantage here, as he is going to be able to hold his ground, dealing damage, securing now finally the position from those tanks. And yeah, there is no more energy under this one arbiter, so the Terran should be fine now, as he's adding of course more and more of those siege tanks. We also see Psionic Storm being developed, so Psionic Storm with stasis trap, a very strong combo versus the Terran, as yeah, BISU just keeps on expanding while he is attacking. So the Terran reacting with his fast moving vultures. I believe there are some cannons here to secure this place, but what a great move out here by the Terran all of a sudden, just engaging all of those probes. So lucky move out by him, being able to snipe a couple of probes here. Also losing some vultures, but in the end it was a great move by the Terran, as even forcing now BISU to come back. Just add some mines to win some time here, but in the end this will be cleared. The move out was very nice here by the Terran, as he was able to snipe so many probes from BISU. BISU, like I told you, pretty much bringing all of those probes from the main into the newly established base, and he even wants to expand into this location. So at the 15-minute mark already has so many bases, only 3 bases now here for the Protoss, sorry, for the Terran. And yeah, much more map control here for BISU, as the Terran now slowly but steadily tries, of course, to move out. Same can be said here for BISU. He has good energy onto this one arbiter. Might try to add indeed another arbiter. They're very crucial here into the late game with the stasis trap, and even with a recall. A nice recall could have been done here into this location, giving more mobility towards the Protoss units. And then the Terran has, of course, to move out. He wants to secure his other expansion into that location. BISU already knows this, so his units are also close by. Let's check also the upgrades here for the Terran. 1 to 2 for him. I believe BISU should have 2 weapons upgrades. And yeah, we see more energy being upgraded for the high tempers from BISU, as he's now just stepping back a little bit, as there is so much Terran onto this ground. So many vultures, so many tanks. Notice how the tanks are now more spreaded, and even adding those science vessels for that EMP shockwave versus BISU. Hold on, we might see an attack here. The Dragoons are dealing good damage against the vultures. The Terran not really paying attention now, as he's taking quite some damage. The mines will be very likely cleared here, but Terran is now securing his expansion, and he's actually moving out now with his mass forces versus BISU. So BISU is being pushed back. A good position here all of a sudden here for the Terran. Just needs to be careful against the EMP shockwave. Sorry, against the stasis trap from the Protoss from BISU. Let's see if the stasis trap is going to be successful. A great stasis trap, just taking out those 2 science vessels, and a nice move here by BISU. The tanks, however, in the back aren't being touched now. Finally some great storms by BISU. So many tanks are being brought back here by the Terran, so he should be able, of course, to hold, and he should be able to push back BISU. So let's move by the Terran, even though the stasis trap was really good, taking out those science vessels against the EMP. The Terran might try to add yet another science vessel. Even 5 science vessels would have been very nice to just spread them out. Just to have that EMP shockwave versus the Protoss is really important, especially against the shields from the Protoss units, and also against the High Templar energy and Arbiter energy. So if you ask me, 5, even 4 science vessels, a must needed unit to have into the late game. But actually we have a nice recall here from BISU, catching me off guard. Not that much economic damage has been done, only a couple of SCVs have been killed here. Terran should be able to hold this if he even casted EMP shockwave. So yeah, in the end he did lose some workers, but he also killed quite a large amount of the units from BISU. In the end he dropped to 53, and BISU having now quite the same amount of units just like his opponent. So it's very important to have the newly established base, and BISU also having this base. I believe that the Terran is going to try to punish the newly bases here from BISU. There's just so many units of them. It's the middle of the map. He's now pretty much in control from the Terran. BISU just sends out a small group of Dragoons, taking out the mines, reacting with his mech here, with almost taking out, yes indeed, taking out the shuttle. So stuff here from one Goliath versus the units from BISU. So BISU still onto Dragoons, still Dragoons with Zealots for him. Reinforcements are into this position right here, as the Terran actually is being maxed out, and this is very dangerous versus BISU. Maxed out Terran with tanks, with vultures. How is BISU going to react to this? He might have the economic advantage here. He might have more bases versus his opponent, but it's very hard to push forward against the sheer mass of the Terran here. Let's see if it's going to be successful. What exactly his plan is going to be. Perhaps some recalls into the production buildings from the Terran. Not that many defenses here, just a couple of turrets, as the Terran has a great map control here. His mines spread all over the map, and the BISU just holding his ground, perhaps just trying to think about a tactic. We're going to be seeing some recall You might see a drop happening here with some shuttle gameplay as this one arbiter is moving out here. So Ekadoji might try to recall all of those units into the main production building. Look, if this is indeed going to be his plan, he perhaps going to try to spread those units. You can see not that much of an anti-air here for the Terran. So BISU just pretty much can casually work here forward, and there is indeed that recall straight into the production building. So a very nice move here by BISU. It's going to take some time for the Terran to come back here with his forces. This ramp is actually working against him. Yeah, BISU tries of course to snipe a factory or two, but yeah, the ramp here really working against the Terran as he's bringing some units forward. Not as much vision is being left here for the Terran. He needs a supply depot, sorry, a science facility to have detection versus the units, and yeah, one, even two, these three factories have been sniped with UCS scan. BISU dealing good damage here versus his opponent. At the same time, we see a move out here by the Terran. There's the reaction from BISU, so all of a sudden we have multiple engagement here onto the map. A nice attack here by BISU, sniping the production buildings, but yeah, the Terran responding immediately, taking out this expansion very soon as he's taking more and more damage. The reinforcements are pulling forward. Nice defensive matrix here into one flank, and the great EMP shockwave has also been casted, but BISU with massive amounts of storms, and this is going to be a great counter versus the units from the Terran. So all of a sudden the Terran losing so many units. You can see the High Templars have dealt great amounts of damage here, so a nice mix for BISU. I believe the High Templars in the late game would be the answer with that energy upgrade. Remember, one High Templar can cast 2 storms, so very deadly unit to have into the late game. Great versus Zerg as well, and even great versus the Protoss. And the energy is also recuperating really fast. Armor 1 has also been done here for BISU, so all of a sudden the heights have changed. We see BISU being maxed out versus the Terran losing quite a large amount of his army as he tried of course to counter the newly established bases, but he got immediately punished by BISU with the storms. Now he has to retreat, he has to protect his expansion, and even his production buildings here have taken quite some damage as the factories are being replaced. So we might see BISU try this once again with a recall. And where exactly is he going to attack? This base seems to be not that well defended. This one here as well. There are many mines on the ground. BISU can of course fly over them with the arbiter. Right now he is being maxed out. He has a great economic advantage. So very soon I believe we're going to be seeing BISU attack, but just where? Let's have a look at his decision as he's clumping up his units together. We might see another recall happening very soon. Exactly, is it going to happen? Hold on, we actually see it here into the main. So the Terran with some mistake here, his main once again is being attacked, but of course to counter it with some science vessels, but it was a little bit too late because once again his units are taking damage. His production buildings will also take damage, and the ramp once again is working here against him as BISU is just going straight into the main, forcing of course the Terran to stay back. And yet those zealots also deal some great amount of damage. Let's check his upgrades. 1 to 3 for him, no shields upgrade. Terran should be 2 to 3, so nice upgrades for both players. It will be cleared in the end, but damage has already been done. So perhaps the Terran is going to try to add more anti-air turrets to secure the production buildings here for him. And BISU might try yet another attack as he's moving out here into another position. So BISU much more mobile onto the map. The Terran is to bring all of his forces back here. BISU forcing him to stay some units here back, and at the same time I believe the BISU is going to try to attack the newly established bases here from the Terran. It's not that well being defended. Some basis trap indeed is being used here by BISU just to block the move out here for Terran. So very smart move here by BISU, pretty much ignoring all of those units and pretty much going straight to the newly established bases, crippling the economy. And a great storm once again is being casted as the SCV after the SCV is falling, and all of a sudden Terran dropping here into 40 workers. So like I told you, a much more mobile force here for BISU thanks to those arbiter as he's moving out and snapping more and more of those SCVs. Yeah, all of a sudden the Terran losing more and more, and I believe the High Templars looks like the game changing on. Of course the stasis trap from the arbiters also very strong versus the units from the Terran, and looks like BISU is now finding even the confidence to move forward with his units. He's going to try to clear of the tanks here, so many tanks are still being left alive. The damage has been done, the reinforcements are moving forward here for BISU, as he's still taking some damage. However, remember that 2 newly established bases have been taken out, this one and this one here as well, just a floating command center. So the damage has been done, especially the economic damage. 34 workers only here for the Terran, as he's now only mining from this base right here. So very hard game here for the Terran, sadly for him. Now finally he keeps some Goliaths back, he even added a turret here. And yeah, no mines, interesting enough, being added by the Terran onto the ground. And all of a sudden BISU is pretty much in control of this game. I believe he's going to try to attack once again the base here from the Terran. He might try to overfloat it once again with a arbiter. Just moving out, having good energy onto those arbiters. Where exactly is he going to attack? We might see once again a recall into this location right here. This one might also be targeted. Let's see what the decision from BISU is going to be, as the Terran is now once again moving out, but into another direction, leaving those 2 newly established bases pretty much exposed. But hold on, we actually see an attack here in the middle of the map. Great stasis trap and a great EMP shockwave actually here for the Terran. So this is of course the counter against the arbiters and against the high templars, but those mines actually now working against the Terran, as the zealots in the front are soaking up those mines towards the tanks. And yeah, BISU still having the high ground. All of a sudden Terran dropping to 73 supply. No more energy here for those high templars, but the damage once again has been done, and BISU is still moving out with a group of zealots. So of course this is going to force the GG out here from Sana. A good game here by Sana, but sadly for him those EMPs didn't really catch the arbiters before the high templars could have casted the high templar storm and of course the ice fields here onto the tanks. So the counter towards the arbiters and the high templars is of course the lance vessel here, but sadly here for the Terran, some of them even were stasis trapped and he couldn't have casted it so fast. Very nice reaction here by BISU, and a great comeback, even given the fact that at one point the Terran had more of a supply versus his opponent. But yeah, those arbiters and the high templars have brought BISU back here into this game. And let's not forget those great recalls into the main, forcing of course the Terran to unsiege and come back. So nice move here by BISU. Also the fact that the Terran didn't have the main production buildings protected with some turrets, even some 1 or 2 Goliaths would have been great here for him. But yeah, BISU punishing of course the fully defense into the main from the Terran, and in the end he got the upper hand and won this game. So quite an interesting game. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Tommy signing out.